In the bustling heart of a city that straddles old traditions and modern aspirations, Arjun Kapoor, an elegant, introspective man in his early 70s, sat on the veranda of his ancestral home in Delhi. The gentle hum of traffic mixed with the call of distant temple bells, and the aroma of freshly brewed chai intertwined with the earth's old fragrance. Though Arjun had spent his youth immersed in the vibrant culture of India, time had weathered him into a quiet, reflective soul, carrying memories of a life rich with history, art, and deep familial bonds. Arjun's family home, a sprawling haveli passed down through generations, was a treasure trove of traditions. Its faded frescoes, the intricate carvings on the wooden doors, and the age-old brass lamps all spoke of an era when craftsmanship was revered and every ritual had its sacred significance. Yet, amid the splendor of his heritage, Arjun now felt an aching solitude. His wife Meera had left this world many years ago, and his children had moved away, one to the United States and another to Lahore, Pakistan, each seeking fortunes in the modern world. The old man found solace only in his memories and in the timeless music of the sitar that played softly in the background on quiet evenings. One sweltering summer afternoon, while Arjun was sifting through old letters and photographs in the courtyard, he stumbled upon a faded envelope tucked away behind a stack of brittle manuscripts. The envelope, sealed with an intricate wax stamp bearing the emblem of his ancestors, was addressed simply to Arjun Kapoor. Its handwriting was elegant and unfamiliar, like a whisper from the past. With trembling fingers, he broke the seal and unfolded the letter inside. The words leaped off the page as if they had been written only yesterday. Dear Arjun, in the heart of our heritage lies a secreted treasure of traditions that binds our two worlds together. Though our family has scattered across borders, the legacy of our culture remains eternal. Seek the ancient courtyard in the old haveli, where the winds carry the stories of our ancestors, and you shall find the first clue to our unified destiny. Yours in everlasting hope, a friend. Arjun's heart pounded. Who was this friend? Was it a relative long lost, or perhaps a mentor whose words were meant to guide him through his twilight years? The letter stirred in him a forgotten excitement, a spark of adventure that he had thought extinguished by time and solitude. That very evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Arjun found himself pacing in the dim light of his study, revisiting memories of childhood when every day promised new wonders and mysteries. He recalled the days when his father would take him to ancient forts and bustling bazaars, explaining how each artifact and every legend had a role in shaping their identity. Now, with the letter as his guide, Arjun wondered if it was time to reconnect with that deep well of cultural wisdom, a journey that might bridge the gaps between India and its neighboring lands, including the dear memories of his children in America and Pakistan. Determined to unearth the mystery, Arjun decided that the very next morning he would return to the old courtyard of his haveli, a place long neglected yet teeming with history. As he lay in bed that night, his mind swirled with visions of sunlit courtyards, ancient murals, and the faint strains of a sitar echoing in the background. For the first time in decades, he felt that perhaps, in unraveling this secret, he might also unlock a door to healing the old wounds of separation and loneliness. Morning came with a radiant glow. Arjun rose early, dressed in a simple kurta and dhoti that honored tradition, and made his way to the courtyard. The space was overgrown with wild marigolds and creepers that had claimed their time. Yet beneath the entangled vines and crumbling stone, there was a sense of quiet majesty. His heart beat faster as he recalled the letter's words. Could there really be a clue hidden here? The thought was both thrilling and daunting. He searched every nook and cranny of the courtyard. Behind an ancient stone bench, partially hidden by a curtain of ivy, he discovered a small brass plate engraved with the words, "Unity and diversity, our legacy forever." The inscription sent a shiver down his spine. It was as if the voices of his ancestors were speaking directly to him, reminding him that despite the passage of time and the dispersion of his family across different lands, the culture they all shared remained unbroken. In that moment, Arjun felt a surge of purpose. This was not merely a search for an object or a treasure. It was a journey back to the very essence of his heritage, a path that would connect the past with the present, and maybe, just maybe, heal the fractures that modern life had wrought. As the morning matured, Arjun carefully documented the brass plate's inscription in his journal. With a renewed sense of hope, he made plans to visit the nearby museum that housed artifacts from his family's lineage. He recalled stories of the grand celebrations of Diwali and Eid, where people of different faiths and cultures came together, each adding their own vibrant thread to the tapestry of the community. The thought of these shared celebrations brought a bittersweet smile to his face as he remembered the warmth and unity of those days. In that moment, Arjun vowed to follow the clues, whatever they might be. He would embark on a journey not just to solve a mystery, but to reclaim a sense of belonging that he had longed for in the silence of his days. His heart, once heavy with solitude, now pulsed with the rhythm of possibility. With the brass plate as his first clue, he stepped back inside, ready to let the secret of his heritage lead him into a future where the bonds of culture and family would once again intertwine. The following morning, as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, Walter awoke with a stirring in his heart that he had not felt in decades. The mysterious envelope from 1963 had ignited something deep within him, longing to rediscover not only his forgotten past, but also the rich tapestry of cultural traditions that once defined his youth. The letter had spoken of an ancient courtyard, a hidden clue to a legacy that spanned generations, and of dreams that transcended time. With trembling excitement, he resolved that this was the moment to venture beyond the familiar walls of his quiet home. After a modest breakfast, Walter carefully packed a small bag with essentials: a well-worn journal, a faded photograph of his family, a sturdy pair of shoes, and, most importantly, the brass plate inscribed with the words, "Unity and diversity, our legacy forever." That inscription echoed like a mantra in his mind, promising that the past and the present were intricately woven together. He stepped out into the cool autumn air, the streets of Willow Creek still hushed in the early hours, and began his journey to the old courtyard of his ancestral Havli, a place he had not visited in years. The bus ride to his hometown was a journey through time. As the urban skyline gave way to gentle hills and patchwork fields, Walter's thoughts wandered back to his childhood. He remembered the vibrant celebrations of Diwali and Eid, the spirited folk dances, and the soulful music that resonated in every gathering. His heart ached with both nostalgia and a deep, insistent hope that the traditions of his youth might still hold the answers to his present loneliness. Upon arriving, Walter found the town transformed by modernity yet still deeply rooted in its traditions. The old market, with its busy vendors and colorful stalls, was a blend of the past and the present. Everywhere he looked, there were hints of a once vibrant culture: handcrafted pottery, faded paintings of historical events, and the aroma of freshly spiced street food that beckoned him back to simpler times. Yet, among these nostalgic details, he felt the tug of something more: a promise of reconciliation between his fragmented memories and the present reality. Guided by the brass plate's inscription, Walter made his way through winding streets until he arrived at the remnants of the old courtyard. The place was overgrown with wild marigolds and creeping vines, a natural testament to the passage of time. Here, among the weathered stones and crumbling arches, he found a small alcove that looked remarkably preserved. In that hidden nook, he discovered another relica, small, intricately carved wooden box that seemed to hum with history. Inside the box lay a collection of letters and photographs, each a fragment of a larger story. One faded photo showed a smiling young couple beneath a grand archway, while another letter spoke of ancient festivals where communities celebrated their shared heritage with music, dance, and fervent prayer. Walter spent hours in the courtyard, his old hands trembling as he caressed the carvings on the wooden box. Every scratch and groove told a story: a celebration of diversity, unity, and the enduring spirit of a people who had overcome countless adversities. The words unity and diversity resonated within him as if spoken by the voices of his ancestors, urging him to look beyond the sorrow of loss and embrace the legacy that had shaped him. At dusk, as the sky blushed with hues of pink and gold, Walter returned to a modest guest house in the town. There, he met a kindly old historian named Rajan, who ran a small museum dedicated to the region's cultural heritage. Over cups of steaming masala chai, Rajan listened intently as Walter recounted the letter, the brass plate, and his journey so far. Rajan's eyes sparkled with interest and empathy. "My friend," he said, "what you have is a key to the pasta treasure that links our present to the wisdom of our forefathers." Encouraged by Rajan's words, Walter spent the next few days exploring the museum. He marveled at ancient manuscripts, traditional musical instruments, and exquisite artifacts that celebrated the multicultural legacy of the Rajona legacy shared by both India and Pakistan. He discovered stories of interwoven cultures, of festivals where Hindus, Muslims, and people of various faiths celebrated side by side. The museum became a sanctuary of forgotten lore, and with each exhibit, Walter's heart filled with a renewed sense of purpose. During one poignant moment, as he stood before an exhibit dedicated to Sufi mystics, Walter recalled his father's words from long ago. "The soul of our culture lies in its ability to embrace differences and find beauty in every form of expression." The sentiment struck a deep chord within him, bridging the gap between personal loss and the communal spirit that had once united his family and community. That night, back at the guest house, Walter wrote in his journal, pouring out his thoughts and dreams. He wrote of his longing to reconnect with the cultural traditions that once brought his family together, of the pain of separation, and of a hope that, perhaps, this journey was not just about the past, but about rebuilding a future steeped in shared heritage. His words flowed freely, capturing the essence of his inner transformation evolution from a solitary existence to a rekindled belief in the power of unity and the enduring magic of culture. As midnight approached, Walter drifted off to sleep with the soft hum of ancient songs in his mind, unaware that his journey was only just beginning. The next day promised more mysteries to unravel, more lessons to learn, and more bridges to build between a world that was rapidly changing and the timeless traditions that had once defined it. And so, with a heart brimming with both memories and newfound hope, Walter's quest to rediscover his heritage continue a journey that would take him deep into the tapestry of his people's rich, multicultural legacy. Walter awoke the next morning with a newfound determination. The memories of the previous days, the quiet majesty of the old courtyard, the vivid stories whispered by ancient relics in the museum, and the heartfelt conversations with Rajan had ignited a fire within him. He felt that the mystery of his heritage was not only a personal journey, but also a bridge between cultures that had long coexisted in the region. With his journal clutched tightly under his arm and the brass plate still etched in his memory, Walter set out to explore the vibrant streets of his hometown in search of clues that might lead him to a deeper understanding of his family's legacy. His footsteps carried him down bustling lanes where modernity danced alongside tradition. He passed by vendors selling spicy chats and fresh jalebis, their stalls adorned with bright marigolds and intricate rangoli designs. Every sight, every sound, evoked echoes of the festivals and communal celebrations of his youth times when Hindus and Muslims celebrated together, where the scent of incense mingled with the aroma of kebabs, and the laughter of children transcended religious differences. Walter's heart swelled with both nostalgia and a longing to reclaim that sense of unity, a unity that had begun to fray in the wake of modern conflicts and the slow erosion of shared traditions. As he wandered, Walter noticed an old community center that had recently been renovated. The center was adorned with colorful murals depicting scenes from classical Indian and Pakistani folklore, images of brave heroes, dancing deities, and peaceful villages. Drawn to its warmth, he entered and was greeted by a lively group of senior citizens engaged in spirited conversation. They spoke of the old days of communal dinners during Eid and Diwali, of festivals that united neighbors regardless of their backgrounds. One elderly man, his face creased with decades of stories, shared, "Our strength was in our unity. We celebrated together. We mourned together. That spirit, my friend, is what we must keep alive." Walter felt a stirring of hope. Here was tangible evidence that the old ways were not entirely lost, that the spirit of unity still lived on, even if hidden behind layers of modernity. Determined to contribute, he joined their conversation, recounting his own journey through the museum and the secrets he'd uncovered in his ancestral courtyard. The group listened intently, their eyes lighting up with shared reminiscence and quiet determination. One of the ladies, with a voice soft yet resolute, remarked, "Sometimes the past comes calling to remind us of who we are. Perhaps your journey is the spark we need to revive our community's forgotten ties." Encouraged by their response, Walter spent the rest of the day at the center, engaging in long discussions about heritage, art, and the importance of keeping traditions alive. He learned that several community members had organized cultural programs to celebrate the region's diverse historia, blend of ancient rituals, folk music, and shared culinary traditions that transcended the divisions of religion and language. As the day drew to a close, Walter felt a renewed sense of purpose. His own personal quest had grown into a broader mission to help reconnect the fragmented strands of a once unified culture. That evening, as twilight settled over the town, Walter returned to his guest house with a heart full of ideas and a mind buzzing with plans. He began drafting letters to local cultural organizations, suggesting the organization of interfaith festivals and community gatherings that could bring people together in celebration of their shared heritage. The thought of bridging the gap between the old and the new filled him with an excitement he hadn't felt in years. He scribbled ideas about storytelling sessions, traditional music recitals, and even collaborative art projects that would highlight the beauty of diversity. As he sat by a window overlooking the quiet street, the soft hum of the night soothing him, Walter reflected on the interconnectedness of life. The brass plate's inscription, "Unity in Diversity, Our Legacy Forever," resonated in his soul like a mantra. He realized that his own journey was not just about solving a mystery from the past. It was about forging a new future where the echoes of yesterday could enrich the present and inspire a collective vision of harmony. The night was long, filled with memories and dreams, and as he penned down his thoughts in his journal, he vowed that tomorrow he would take another step toward reviving the legacy of unity, a legacy that belonged not only to him but to every soul in his community. The quest for unity had just begun, and Walter knew that his path would be filled with challenges and unexpected turns. But with the wisdom of his ancestors guiding him and the collective spirit of his community rising around him, he felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. In that quiet moment of reflection, as the stars twinkled overhead like ancient witnesses, Walter believed that the bonds of culture and community could, indeed, be reawakened on heartfelt conversation, one shared memory, one timeless melody at a time. As dawn broke over Willow Creek, Walter felt the stirring of a new beginning. The community center, now vibrant with preparations, had become the heart of a cultural revival. In recent weeks, Walter, along with passionate friends Rajan and Mira, had organized a festival celebrating the rich tapestry of traditions that had once united their people. The brass plate's inscription, "Unity in Diversity, Our Legacy Forever," echoed in his mind as he stepped into a hall adorned with colorful banners and murals depicting historic festivities. Inside, the center buzzed with activity. Artisans arranged their handcrafted wares, storytellers rehearsed ancient legends, and musicians tuned traditional instruments like the sitar, tabla, and flute. The aroma of incense and marigold garlands filled the air, evoking memories of long-ago celebrations where communities, regardless of their differences, came together as one. During a brief meeting, Rajan outlined the schedule. "Today's festival is not just an event, it's our collective promise to keep our heritage alive," he said, his eyes reflecting decades of wisdom. Mira chimed in. "We will share our stories, perform our traditional dances, and savor our culinary delights. Our culture is a living force, and today we let it shine." Walter recalled his own youth, when festivals were the highlight of every season. He remembered the vibrant colors of Holi, the radiant lights of Diwali, the soulful tunes of Qawwali during Eid, and the shared joy of all these celebrations. Those memories, once faded, now sparked a warmth he thought he had lost. Later that afternoon, as the festival kicked off with a grand parade, the streets of Willow Creek transformed into a living canvas. Locals dressed in traditional attire saris, sherwanis, and kurta pajamas marched together, with children laughing and dancing in the midst of the celebration. Folk music filled the air, and the scent of street food, from spicy curries to sweet jalebis, mingled with the crisp autumn breeze. On stage at the community center, Walter was invited to deliver the opening speech. With a steady voice that carried the weight of his experience, he addressed the gathered crowd. Our traditions are not relics of the past, but the lifeblood that unites us all. Today, we celebrate our heritage, a tapestry woven from countless stories, rituals, and shared memories. In our unity, we find strength. In our diversity, we find beauty. Let this festival remind us that our legacy lives on in each smile, every melody, and all the love we share. The applause that followed was heartfelt, with many in the audience visibly moved. Walter felt a surge of pride and hope, knowing that the festival was rekindling the bonds of community and culture. In the midst of the celebration, he wandered through the hall, engaging in quiet conversations with elders and young adults alike. He listened to stories of past festivals and learned how modern challenges had reshaped traditional practices. He even exchanged ideas with a local artist who was painting a mural of interfaith celebrations, a vivid portrayal of Diwali, Eid, and Holi intertwined in a burst of colors and emotions. As evening descended, the center's lights dimmed to a soft glow. Outside, the town square was illuminated by lanterns, and the collective spirit of the festival lingered in the cool night air. Walter stood on a small stage for a final address, feeling the significance of the day. Today, we have not only celebrated our rich heritage, but we have also laid the foundation for a future where our cultural bonds remain strong. Let our unity be a beacon of hope for the generations to come. In that quiet moment, the festival transformed into a powerful symbol of revival, a promise that the legacy of unity, passed down through traditions and generations, could illuminate even the darkest paths. Walter's heart swelled with gratitude, and as he left the community center, he knew that this was just the beginning of a movement that would bring his people closer together. The morning after the festival, Willow Creek buzzed with a renewed spirit. Walter walked through town, greeted by friendly smiles and warm handshakes. The festival had ignited something special, a shared commitment to preserving a rich cultural heritage. For Walter, his journey had evolved into a movement that united the community in a celebration of diversity and shared history. In the weeks that followed, cultural programs blossomed throughout town. The local newspaper published Walter's heartfelt articles about the festival and his personal quest for unity. Community centers hosted interfaith gatherings, traditional music recitals, and art exhibitions that honored the region's diverse traditions. Elders shared cherished memories of long-ago celebrations, and younger residents listened eagerly, inspired by the stories of their past. One crisp spring morning, while strolling past the community center, Walter paused before a small plaque mounted near the entrance. The inscription read, "In memory of unity, a legacy of togetherness." Standing there, amidst blooming flowers and the friendly chatter of neighbors, he felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. The plaque symbolized the lasting impact of the festival, a promise that their cultural bonds could be rekindled despite the passage of time. At a subsequent community gathering in the town square, Walter was invited to speak. Under a clear blue sky, he stood on a modest stage, addressing an audience that spanned multiple generations. Our shared heritage is not merely a series of old traditions, but the lifeblood that unites us all, he began. It is the wisdom of our elders, the dreams of our youth, and the love that binds us together. Today, let us celebrate our past and embrace the future as one community. The crowd responded with heartfelt applause, many visibly moved by his words. In that moment, the town felt like a living tapestry thread a story, every color a cherished memory, woven together into a fabric of unity and hope. As the day drew to a close, Walter returned home with a light heart. Sitting by his window, he gazed at the lively streets below, where the echoes of festival music and laughter still lingered. In that quiet moment, he reflected on his journey from a solitary life steeped in nostalgia to a renewed existence defined by community and togetherness. In his final journal entry, Walter wrote, "We are the custodians of our history. Through unity and shared culture, our legacy endures. Each act of kindness, every celebration, strengthens the bond that makes us one." His words, simple yet profound, captured the essence of a community reborn.